I guess that is the best-selling book in psychiatry ever. And that is certainly not something I ever came close to expecting. I think people recognize themselves in the book and say, yeah, my dad was a drunk and I was always scared. Or my mom completely ignored me and knew that my brother was beating me up, but she did not interfere. And yes, I recognize myself. I go through one bad relationship to another, and at some point I get so scared and upset and angry that I break off the relationship. And the people recognize themselves. The feedback I get is really that people read the book from a very personal point of view and talk about themselves. I think a lot of people actually are paying attention to the body. And I think that really I see a shift in our culture where people are really thinking about how movement and the experience of your body does make a difference. And I think it's affecting the culture in that regard, probably in quite a positive way. The big issue is that if you grow up with violence and being victimized, how do you develop compassion for yourself and for each other? And how do you really help people to learn? Some of the best programs I've seen are yoga programs in inner cities, theater programs in inner cities, action programs where people have experiences that really expose them to things that are really different from what they're accustomed to. Simple things like equine-assisted psychotherapy, just learning how to be with a horse. It's very much the explorations of what sort of experiences can be promoted in people that can help them to feel safer and more in control of themselves. I've always been curious about tango dancing, for example. Argentina, very traumatized country. When I went there, I go like, oh, they had to invent tango dancing because tango helps you to be in sync with other people. So I would love to do a study comparing tango dancing with cognitive behavioral psychotherapy or martial arts or making music together. I think our Western paradigm of the post-alcoholic paradigm, you talk about how bad you feel or you take drugs, it needs to be vastly expanded into the way we raise small kids. And the way it's called is to have them experiences of discovery and pleasure and connection, which is not talking about your trauma, it's how to be in sync with other people. The European culture is, if you feel bad, you take a swig. And every country has their own swig that they feel proud of. But that's really where we come from. My eyes were really opened up in China to some degree, where in the early post-Mao years, a miserable country, but people were doing Qigong everywhere. And I joined them in the Qigong and said, wow, I feel so much calmer and safer. In China, people still can't talk about that stuff, but they're very good in that bodily regulation. And everywhere in parks, the Chinese are just calm and doing these body things. Then I hang out with Bishop Tutu at the transition in South Africa. And he was the best trauma therapist I've ever seen. He sang with people. He danced with people. He made people feel safe. And once they felt safe, they could talk about what's happened. And he almost single-handedly prevented a massacre that was about to happen because he helped people to feel safe. And so there are so many things besides our paradigm of yakking and drugs that can actually do it. Yeah.